everybody! Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Cora. Welcome to my library.
But I know it's not perfect, but maybe that's what we need.
This has been a long-promised book tag. I was trying to select which book tag to do because there's so many, and I didn't want to just like do an average one that's like, what's your favorite book, like your favorite author, like, no, I'm not basic. I decided to do a Harry Potter spells tag, because in case you haven't noticed by my intro, I love Harry Potter! This is a book tag that applies spells from Harry Potter to books. Let's get right into it. This spell I actually do not recognize. I think it's Flagrate? F-L-A-G-R-A-T-E. It's the writing charm, I guess. I think it's the charm that makes pens write on their own. For this one it says, a book you found interesting but would like to rewrite. The Dead Girls of Hysteria Hall by Katie Allender. Oh my gosh, there was some creepy imagery in this book. I would want to rewrite it because it pisses me off that she stays dead. Because in the beginning of the book she dies, and so we see everything happening from her perspective as a ghost. And I was really hoping that her change of character, going from like a little basic teenage brat to being, you know, like nice and actually caring about people, that she would have a second chance at life, but nope. Even though she like gets to go to heaven or whatever, like all the spirits are released, it just, that makes me mad. I would definitely want to rewrite this and make her come back to life and give her a second chance. Alohomora, the Unlocking Charm. A first book in a series that got you hooked. This wouldn't be a proper Harry Potter book tag if I didn't include a Harry Potter book. So obviously, The Sorcerer's Stone, the first book in the Harry Potter series. I was at my 8th grade book fair. I saw this just sitting there and I'm like, I don't know, should I start Harry Potter? Because my mom wasn't really into that. She thought that it was like trying to encourage children to practice witchcraft, which it's not, and she understands that now. In fact, she loves the story of Harry Potter, and she's seen the movies with me, like all of them. I didn't want to read it, but then I was like, you know what? It's a rite of passage. So I decided to pick it up and just give it a shot, and I fell in love with it within like the first 3 chapters. Thank you, 8th grade book fair, for getting me into Harry Potter, because I can't imagine my life now without it. Accio, the Summoning Spell. A book that you wish you could have right now. The Bad Beginning by Lemony Snicket. The first book in a series of unfortunate events. Oh my gosh, I've watched the Netflix series, not the whole thing, but I've watched seasons 1 and 2 at least like 3 times, and I'm on season 3 right now. It just came out last month, and I'm so excited. I'm on like episode 3. I love it so much, and I want to read all the books. I know that there's like a lot, but they're little books, you know, they're like that big. I'm not intimidated. Avada Kedavra, The Killing Curse. This is supposed to be like a pun. It says a killer book, so a book that was like so amazing. City of Heavenly Fire by Cassandra Clare. Look at this. This is a killer book. This is a monster. It was so good. Everything wrapped up so nicely. All of my ships got together. One of my favorite characters died, and I was like, it's like my favorite book in the entire series. Confundo, The Confusion Charm. A book you found confusing. Library of Souls by Ransom Riggs. I love the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children series. I love it. I just got Map of Days for Christmas, and I'm gonna hit it up for one of my monthly reads, okay? But I didn't really get this one. Like, I didn't get the whole, like, cave thing with, like, the water. Like, I don't really remember it because I read this a while ago. It's been, like, years. I just remember when I was reading it, I didn't really get it. Maybe I just need to read it again because maybe my brain just wasn't developed enough at that time, but yeah. This one kind of confused me, and in my opinion, wasn't as good as the first 2. Sectum Sempra, The Dark Curse that Snape created. A dark, twisted book. I don't really read that many scary books because I'm a weenie and I can't like deal with that, but I'd say that this one was pretty bad. From Bad to Cursed by Katie Allender. The first one, Bad Girls Don't Die, was pretty creepy, but it kind of had a happy ending, except for the fact that their house burned down by an evil spirit, but you know, it's fine. But this one just, I remember, absolutely terrified me because it's like a cult. Alexis's little sister, after being possessed by a freaking spirit, gets herself into trouble again by going and joining a cult. Like, really? And so she has to pose in order to get her sister out of there and, figure out what's going on. And she starts becoming like them. And she's actually, like, worshipping the demon that is doing all this. Freaking Lydia at the end, like, oh my gosh, this book scared me for so long. Like, I could not go into a dark room. Like, I had to turn on the light. Expecto Patronum, a childhood book connected to good memories. Even though this isn't, like, an entire book, it still is a book. It still is a story. And I have very nostalgic feelings for it. It's Meet Kit in the American Girl series. So cute, I love it. I saw the movie first with Abigail Breslin. Absolutely loved that too. It was so cute, I have good memories of reading these at night. Expelliarmus, Disarming Spell, a book that took you by surprise. On the Fence by Casey West. I remember when I first saw this, I thought it's like, oh, it's just your typical, like, teen romance book, like, I'm not like the other girls, but like, no, I promise, it's not like that. It actually surprised me, like, she wasn't nearly as annoying as I thought she was gonna be, and neither was the guy. Like, the cover makes it look so cliche, but it's not. I loved it. Prior Incantatum, Reverse Spell, the last book you read. Well, you guys know the answer to that. The Stones of Shannara. Totally amazing. I can't wait to read the next books and the ones that came before this and just everything about Shannara. Ridiculous. Boggart Banishing Spell, a funny book you've read. Love, Maybe, by Heather Helpler. The cover really caught my eye. It has like all the little, sweetheart candies on there, except they say things like, sorry, buzz off, too bad, ew, because they're supposed to be like sarcastic and stuff. And that's because the story is about a girl named Piper who, even though she's born on Valentine's Day, she hates it because she thinks that, like, true love doesn't exist and that, like, every couple who ends up together just ends up separating. I remember it being, like, funny because she has to get a date and she ends up dating, like, the most popular guy in school because her best friend gets her heart broken or whatever, so she's trying to get her with another guy. I just remember it was really funny because Piper's like super sarcastic and like cynical and just like, go away. It's like, that's me. Sonorous. Is it sonorous or sonorous? I'm not sure. The Amplifying Charm. A book you think everyone should know about. Sarah Lost and Found by Virginia Castleman. Sarah is obviously the main character. The story is told from her perspective. She has an older sister. Her name's Anna. The two of them are like not in a very good situation. They have like their mom, but their mom like leaves. She's not very reliable. And their dad is kind of like, he's not a good guy. He's like super shady. So they basically are on their own. They live in this broken down house and they end up getting put into foster care, but Anna's kind of not all up there, so Anna ends up getting taken away, and it's really sad, but I loved this book because it dealt with like so many mature topics that I feel like little kids, not like super little, but like, 10, 9 years old could really do with learning about and understanding. I think everyone should at least give it a try, no matter how old you are. Obliviate, Memory Charm, a book or spoiler you would like to forget having read. So this one has two parts. It says you could forget it in a good way. So it means like if you wanted to forget the book so that you could read it again, I would choose The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins because I read these in 6th grade and I loved it, but I feel like I was too young at the time to catch everything, and some of the things didn't make sense. Like, I like to picture what's going on in my head, but in Mockingjay, I couldn't really do that. So that's why I say that I want to forget these, because I feel like if I could read them with a fresh mind that is now fully developed, pretty much, then it would be so much better. And in a bad way, Allegiant by Veronica Roth. It's not even that this was a bad book, it's that I got a spoiler for it that I'm about to share. Doris dies. I remember I was watching Poland Banana Books. I talked about her in one of my other videos. She's a booktuber. I was watching one of her videos and she was talking about how to avoid spoilers. And she says it at least like twice in the video that Tris dies. I'm like, that's not true, right? I was in denial. I was in straight up denial. And then when I finally got to this, I was like, no! so sad. I was like, how could you do this to 4? Like, this is bull. Like, what are they gonna do with the movie? And I'm actually happy that they never came out with Ascendant, because then we would have seen Triss die, and 4 would have had his heart broken, and it would have just been a mess. Like, in my opinion, the movies were so much better than the books. Like, yeah. After the Divergent book, just kind of went downhill. Imperio, Controlling Curse, a book you had to read for school. A Tree Grows in Brooklyn by Betty Smith. Now, I know what you're thinking. Holy cow, that is a big book. Yes, it is. It's 493 pages, and I had to read it within a month. My English teacher wanted us to choose from a list of books for SSR, which stands for Sustained Silent Reading. This is our final. We had to pick a book, and after we read it, do a one-pager project. So we had to do like images from the book, so like symbols that they talk about. In this case, I would have done a tree, because a tree grows in Brooklyn. This book was so good. This came out in 1943, and it just totally blew me away at how good it was. I was expecting it to be like boring and like not relatable at all. Like, why am I reading this? This is torture. It wasn't. I totally got into it. And I was like, you know, investing in Francie's character, and I was rooting for her, and it's just such a good coming-of-age story. Like, I can relate to her so much. We both love writing, we both love reading, we're both hopeless romantics, we both love to dance, we both love music. It just goes on and on and on. It's me! Like, it was so good. Like, it was just such a pleasant surprise. Like, this is the best book that I've ever had to read for school. Is it Crucio? Crucio. Torture Charm, a book that's painful to read. Echo by Pam Muniz Ryan. This is a children's book. Look at this thing. Look at it! This took me straight up like 2 years to read, not even kidding. I had so many other books that I wanted to read that I was just like, you know what, this is so big, like I'm just gonna procrastinate, set it off to the side and read it later. But this was a really good story. I liked how they had the 3 different kids and all 3 of their stories intertwined. And I just love how simple the title is, like Echo. Like, look at the naked book cover. Look at how pretty that is and how, like, smooth. I love hardcover books so much. It's amazing. Defindo, The Severing Charm, a book you wish you could separate from its series. I'm trying to bring it over with my foot. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Everyone knows that The Cursed Child is the worst Harry Potter book ever. It's not even a Harry Potter book, it's a play that looks like it's fanfiction off of Wattpad. Voldemort would never be stupid enough to sleep with Bellatrix and have a kid. Like, what? It doesn't even make any sense with the timeline. I should have listened to the reviews. Flipendo, The Knockback Jinx, a book that repels you. Nerve by Jeanne Ryan. Which is crazy because the movie was fantastic. I loved it. Like, Emma Roberts and Dave Franco, they were perfect. But that's because the movie was so different from the book. The movie was so much more like fun and like electric and, you know, thrilling. The book was just disgusting. Like, the dares weren't fun. The characters were like shallow. The ending was just like, I didn't like it at all. I'm sorry, but yeah. That is definitely a book worthy of the title Flipendo. The last book of the night. Stupefy, The Stunning Spell. A book that left you stunned speechless. Deep Blue by Jennifer Donnelly. Not just this book that stunned me. All 4 of them. This is a quartet, which is, I think, really unique because you either see like trilogies or like 6-book series. You never see a quartet. So good. I've always loved mermaids, like, because of H2O and Ariel and, like, the Emily Winsnett books that I read in 5th grade. I've always loved mermaids. Like, I literally have a mermaid painting right there. This made me actually, like, want to be a mermaid. It's so cool. I love Seraphina. Like, she is the definition of a queen. I love her, and I love Becca, Ava, Astrid. I love Astrid. She's probably my favorite. All 6 of them, they're so cool. They all come from different places, and yet all their destinies are intertwined because they're the descendants of the gods of Atlantis. It's just like, what? Like, it's so cool. I love it. Left me speechless. Just the mythology and the imagery and just the creativity and originality. It's, Wow, there is a big pile of books on my floor now. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope I have given you some insight on the wide variety of books out there. Yeah, that's all I have for tonight. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Bye!